Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Gina. It is Wednesday, it's the 7th of June, and I'm here to give you a stitching update. I have to go back to yesterday though to catch you up because I did not videotape my progress last night. I stitched fairly late, almost till midnight. I didn't get started stitching till 9 o'clock yesterday. Just lots going on. Meetings at church, Bible study, taking one of our ladies to lunch that can't drive, can't see well enough to drive. And so we take turns taking her home. And whenever I take her home, I love to take her to lunch and let her have sort of a fun time out. We have a good time together. And so that was great. And then by the time I got home after my last meeting on the Emporium that's coming up in this September, it was 4 o'clock. Then I had to cook supper and clean the kitchen. And then my husband and I were watching a documentary together. Life, you know, life. So I did stitch yesterday, and I did meet a prompt yesterday. In fact, I met 2 or 3 with this, but what I worked on yesterday was my sampler for all seasons. This is a project that Glow and I are working on together, but that doesn't mean we can't stitch on it at other times, and I needed this one for a prompt. And I had said it was going to be one of my 4 projects that I was going to focus on the month of June because I wanted to focus on things that were spring and summer. And because this one says all seasons, it included spring and summer. And I started mine at this top corner right here. And when you last saw it, I had stitched this tree and part of the red, started putting in the red stitching in that house. And that's where I got to. Well, I needed 300 stitches for this one. And I just got to going. I decided once I started stitching on it, I wanted to meet a goal. And I decided I wanted to finish the red in that house. So I not only finished the red, I finished the door and all the windows and then the red. And the only thing left in that house now is the roof and the 2 chimneys. And then I can move over here and extend that border on out and do the words that come in the middle before I do the other corner. And there's plenty of fabric, don't worry. It's folded in half. This came with the kit. I got this from a kit, and I'm enjoying stitching on it, and really happy that I made that progress yesterday. I did get in total 618 stitches, which is really good. Hadn't expected that. So then today was another crazy day. Today I had some life interventions as well. I had to buy groceries. I cleaned out my refrigerator. I took stock of what I had. My son and I have been cooking a lot over the last few weeks that he's been visiting some over the weekend. And we had sort of run out of this and that and the other. And I just decided I needed to restock everything. So I made a big list, went to the grocery store, came home, put it up. And then my sweet husband came in and said, we have choir practice tonight. We'll be rushed to get to church this evening. Probably won't get to have supper together. I'd like to take you to lunch if you have time. I was like, yes. I love it when my husband asks me on a date. I just think that's very romantic. So we went to lunch together, and then I got to talk to my sister Stephanie. We normally try to talk on Friday morning, but she was traveling this weekend. She was getting to spend the weekend with one of her nieces, and they hadn't seen each other in a long time, and I'm so excited that they're spending the weekend together. So while she was traveling today, she called me, and we got to chat while she was driving. So all of that to say, I got to stitch a little bit before choir practice today. I got started again around 5 o'clock, 4:30, 5 o'clock. Had to leave here at 6:15. Didn't get a whole lot of stitching in. I got some done. But when I got home this evening, I really dug in, and I needed to get 300 stitches for my prompt. This again is for 3 prompts, one of which I need 300 stitches in. So I got 337 stitches in Welcoming Christmas. So I'm going to remind you of what it looks like. There's Welcoming Christmas. And the last time you saw it, I had finished the sheep. And I had just barely stitched a little bit from his foot on down into the black spot on the back of the cow, just to finish the thread off my needle. So when I got ready today, I knew I needed to start on the back of the cow and start working my way across the cow's body. So I got 337 stitches in the cow. So I finished that beautiful spot there, brought the color on down around the cow's neck, because within another shade in here, then there starts this beautiful Christmas wreath that the cow has around her neck. But I went ahead, since I had black on my needle, I went ahead and did this spot as well. And so I just, you know, did more of her coloring on her back. And now I have a gray and another black spot here, and then it'll be white all in between, and then right around here is another black spot, and then you know, then over here I have her head. But interestingly enough, this is as wide as it's going to be, so this will be the edge on this side. Won't get any bigger than that. And then the head of the cow will be over here, and the little chicken. So there's still a good bit of stitching left to do, but I'm thinking this one could possibly, with a focus on it, could possibly be finished this year. Who knows? I don't know. I'm not making any plans to do so. I'm not going to say this one's going to be finished, but it's getting closer and closer the more work, you know, it gets done for prompts. But that was 3 prompts, which is great. So let's talk about plans. First of all, I had a lady ask me when she saw me show you my little ledger where I put all of my cross-stitch goals. She said she would like to watch me complete it. She would like me to show a little bit more of what I do as I go along. So I decided I would do that. And with this stitching that I just did, Welcoming Christmas, I'm going to walk you through what happens when I finish it. So in here are the 3 acrostics that I'm tracking, and these are the whips that I'm using, and each whip has a check mark by where I'm using it in the 3 acrostics. So you could have check marks all the way down. And as I mentioned before, I count how many, and I try to do the ones that hit multiples first, and that's what I've been doing. So this is Welcoming Christmas, and if you run down the list here, you will see that Welcoming Christmas is in 2 of my acrostics. Okay, in the 24 hours of cross stitch acrostic happenstance, it's the last letter is E for Sandy Gore Evans, the designer of Welcoming Christmas. And then in my daily 30 group summertime, the E at the bottom is also for Sandy Gore Evans, Welcoming Christmas. So I used it in each case for an E for the designer's name. So here you go. I will now post this in these 2 groups, and when they're posted, I will put a line through it, and then I come over here to where it's sitting where the check mark is. And you'll see this says at the top, Welcoming Christmas. And there's the check mark for this one. So I will strike through that. I will mark out the check mark. And if all the check marks for that one are completed, which they should be, I mark out the name of that whip, and then I know that one's completed. So you can see I've done that here, 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 and here. And you can see where I've marked out the ones I've completed, and I've struck them off here. So that means as this gets completed, everything gets marked out, and I can look very quickly at a glance and see what's left. So that's how I'm working my current progress. But what about plans for the next few days? What am I thinking of doing? Well, I have some special things going on. In the morning, I get to speak to my friend Glow. And normally we stitch on something we're stitching together. That's what we've been doing lately. But two things are going to happen tomorrow that are different. Glow is working on a project that is a portrait stitch that just is the spitting image of her puppy. And she has been working diligently on it to finish it. And when she asked through texting today, what did I want to stitch on tomorrow? I said, well, you're working so hard trying to finish Frankie's portrait. Why don't you work on that tomorrow? And I'll work on something else that I need to do. And she said, perfect, that'd be great. Well, the reason that works so well for me is I had agreed with my friend Donna and her friend Mary that I would do a stitch along or a start along with them for the Polar Plunge group from Hands On Design. And I bought the patterns while I was at Garon Stitchery's retreat, Stitching in the Wild. And yesterday I ordered the final pattern from Hands On Design, the one that when you purchase your money goes to Special Olympics. So I have that. It's download, and I've got it downloaded, and now I've printed a copy off of it because I like to work from a paper copy. And so I'm ready to get started. I haven't decided which one I'm going to start. I'm going to do that in a minute. But I've got the floss, I've got fabric picked out, and so I'm ready to go. Well, I need to get that started tomorrow because Mary, who initiated this start along, picked tomorrow to do the start because she's at StitchCon, and it's going to be her StitchCon start. And I believe her daughter is there with her, but I don't know if she's starting it or not. But my friend Donna and I will both start one of the Polar Plunge patterns with Mary tomorrow. So while I'm stitching with my friend Glow, I need to be doing my start along. So that's what I'll be working on immediately tomorrow, and I'll get a little bit of a start on it. Even if I don't do much more on it, I just want to start it with Mary and Donna, and then I can work on it as I go. So I hope you have a great weekend coming as well. I hope you enjoy what you're stitching and that you get a lot of progress on it. And I appreciate you sharing my stitching journey with me. Happy stitching, everybody. Hi, everyone. Welcome back. It is June the 8th. It is Thursday, and I'm here to talk to you about my stitching today. It was a special day today. My friend Donna, her and my friend Mary, Mary's daughter April, and I are starting a start along today. So I picked my first Polar Plunge project to start as the first one that she designed according to the number of the design, number 278. It's called Polar Bear Peak. He's peeking out of the water, as you can see there. And I decided I'm going to do all 6 of these on a 32 count piece of fabric that's hand dyed by Stephanie called Blue Sky. It's a Lugana, And I've measured, and I can get them all on here with a 2-inch border between each one. So I started at the bottom. There'll be one in each of these little quadrants from the folds. That's about the size of the quadrant. So here's my first one. I put in 509 stitches today for a new start. I got the bottom row completed. I did the break in the water and then got the white stitches on the polar bear completed. And now I'm ready to start the next time I pull this out on the next color of water that's coming up out of this hole here that he's popping through in the ice. And then I can do his face, and I'll be ready for the finishing touches, the 4 trees in the back and the little ornament hanging down. So I would think that I'm probably about halfway done with this one. And so it's going pretty quick, but I've got some errands to run. I need to get supper with my husband, and so will probably be the stitching that I accomplished today. So when I get back this evening, I think we're going to watch a new series together, start watching a new series together, and then I need to come up here and do some sewing that I promised to do for my son before he gets here this weekend, and that is making the buttonholes that he needs for his scrub hats. He's decided that's a little too advanced for him, so I want to get those done tonight so that they're ready for him whenever he decides to work on them this weekend. So the last thing I want to tell you before I sign off for today is that I got some happy mail. At the retreat in Florida at Stitching in the Wild, I ran into a lovely lady there that I've been admiring and watching her FlossTube channel for a while. And her name is Diane, and she told me that she had something in her stash at home that she heard that I liked and had been looking for. And sure enough, she did. You know, I like these little small floss boxes. I bobbinate all of my DMC, and I love these for small projects. I've tried putting my DMC bobbins on rings, and they're just not strong enough, and the ring, they break off. They break off the ring. It breaks the little hole in the bobbin. I don't like plastic bobbins. I like the cardboard bobbins. The plastic ones cut my fingers when I'm trying to push them in or pull them out or walk across them to find the color I want. I just don't like them. They hurt my hands. So I do the cardboard ones, and they're just not strong enough. So thank you, Diane. She sent me more than one of these, and as a huge surprise, just because she's such a nice person, she also sent me a beautiful project bag that she's made. Isn't that gorgeous? So pretty. She knows I love Christmas. So these are red and white poinsettias. This gray matching complementary fabric here has snowflakes on it. It's just beautiful. And when I opened the box today, and then look at this inside fabric, y'all. Isn't that gorgeous? I squealed, and my husband wasn't sure what I had found. And I showed him the project bag and told him how much I appreciated that. So Diane, thank you so very much. I really enjoyed it, and I'm working on a project right now that's Christmas, and I'm probably going to put it in that bag. I'm going to move it. I think I have it in just one of my Amazon plastic bags, and I'm going to move it into my new Christmas bag. So thank you. Perfect timing. So I hope you're having a great week. I hope you have a wonderful weekend. We're looking forward to our weekend stitching meetup on Saturday at the library. My son's going to come. I think he's going to come on up and have lunch with us. You know, just take a break and have lunch with me. And then he said he would come back by the house and pick up Coco and take her for a nice, wonderful walk in the neighborhood. So that would be awesome. And she would love it. So I'm looking forward to my weekend. I hope you are. I will let you get back to what you were doing. I'm going to go have dinner with my hubby, and when I get back, I'm going to be sewing. Happy stitching, everybody. Good evening, everyone. Welcome back. My name is Dina, and this is June 9th. It is a Friday, and I'm here to talk to you about my stitching and show you my progress. Today, I decided to pick up one of my projects that was going to be my final project that would meet 3 prompts at one time. And I was excited about getting that done today before going to my stitching meetup tomorrow, because tomorrow I will be working on smalls that I can take with me that I have just recently started, and they won't meet any prompts. So I won't be prompt stitching tomorrow. I'll just be working on things that'll be easy to stitch on while I'm in a group. So I'm excited today that I was able to work on something that would hit numerous prompts. So I'm talking about Autumn in the Country. And you saw this recently because I had it for a prompt before in last month's stitching, and I was able to pull it out. And I hadn't stitched on it prior to that. I hadn't stitched on it for quite a while. So I have just fallen in love with this piece, and I don't know whether it's because of the beautiful colors or I enjoy the symmetry of it, but I love it. It's a beautiful piece. And so today I got busy and I stitched on this piece, and I got 321 stitches in to begin with. And I went and posted my pictures with my 3 acrostics, and I was all excited about that. And then I went on my Facebook group and said, you know, now that I've done those 3 prompts and I've eliminated the need for that project, working on that project anymore this month, I am down to 4 or 5 whips that I need to touch to hit the rest of my prompts. And I thought, well, I may have time to do a challenge in the daily 30 group, because Friday is when they put the new challenge out. So I went and read the challenge, and this week's challenge that they posted today is called Flag Week. And I chose 5 prompts that I wanted to do for Flag Week. And lo and behold, the very first prompt is to stitch on a whip that is square. I have exactly 1 whip that is square. This one. So I hadn't even put it away yet, thank goodness, because I was going to film about meeting my prompt, and then I went to check the challenge before I got busy and filmed. And I'm glad that I waited, because I went ahead then, looking at the weekly challenge, you can stitch a minimum of 300, maximum of 400 stitches. So I had to stitch another 300 stitches minimum on this piece. So what you're seeing now is actually both prompts met. So it's a total of 649 stitches, but I stitched the first 321, stopped and took pictures and posted it on Facebook in the group. Then I stitched another 328, and I'm stopping now to post it. And I'm actually stopping for the evening. I've got to pack up my items for my stitching meetup tomorrow. I've selected my door prizes I'm taking with me, my freebie table items. I've got my 2 projects in my bag, but I have to get everything downstairs and get it in the car. So when I finish telling you about this and posting this online, that's what I'll do, and then I'll go spend some time with my husband and my son again. I think my husband's back from walking Coco after dinner, and our son wanted to do a little gaming before he went to bed, and so he's already gone into his bedroom, but I wanted to share this with you. So let me tell you what all I did. The last time I worked on it, I mentioned that only one of the flowers, the acorns, had their leaves on them. I had 3 that needed their leaves. And so the first thing I did tonight when I started stitching this afternoon was I put the 3 leaves in. And there's 2 colors in that. And then one of these flowers had not, only had one color in it. I had just stitched one color of the leaf and the stem. So I had to turn around then and do the second color in the leaves and then do both flowers, and leaves rather. I keep calling them flowers because they look kind of like flowers to me, but these are leaves. And they have several colors. They're beautiful autumn colors, but they have several colors in them. So I did a color completion on one and then went to the other until I completed all of the leaf. And then I was through with all of this around here. So I have the center now to get started on. And there is a square border around that center. So I started that border and I stitched over until I ran out of my thread, and that's why I have the odd number 328, because I actually stitched till I ran out of thread. But that's where I've gotten to. I love the colors on this fabric. This is called Autumn, and it is a gorgeous hand-dyed fabric, and so I'm really liking the way that these colors are showing up on it. So pretty. So now this border is complete all the way around to here, and I'm going to work the middle until I get about halfway down, at least 2 or 3 bands in here, to where I can roll this up, and then I can roll it up enough, hopefully. If I can get at least to the middle, I could roll it up enough that I could see the rest of it on here, I think. I was watching Vonna Pfeiffer's floss tube recently this week, the Twisted Stitcher, and she commented on the fact that she takes her sidebars and swaps them out for really tall sidebars when she's getting to the bottom of a project, so that she can still see everything, and that helps her when she's doing beading. I had never thought of that. Thank you, Vonna. It's a great idea. So anyway, if I had a bigger sidebar, then I could stitch down to here and then just swap out the sidebars and let that fabric roll down. So I may look into that. I just love it. So if you're keeping count, that means I used this piece today for 3 acrostics and a challenge in my daily 30 group. 4 prompts. 4 prompts with 1 piece. Pretty exciting. I haven't done that. I'm not sure I've ever done that before. So that's pretty good. That's awesome. Well, I'm going to let you get back to what you were doing. I've got a little bit of car loading up to do, and then I want to go spend some time with my family. So I will talk to you soon, and in the meantime, happy stitching. Hi everyone, welcome. Today is Sunday, June 11th, and I'm here to give you my update about my stitching yesterday at our meetup at the library. I decided to take with me one of my most recent starts by Lizzie Kate, the Turkey Time. This is a Whip Go start, and I am working on this one, and I had shown you kind of my start on it last week, and I went to the library yesterday. I think we have someone here with us today. I went yesterday and I worked on Turkey Time again, and I stitched 340 stitches. So I completed the hat and the 2 feathers that you see there. So that was a total of 340 stitches. Let me see what we can see over here. Oh. JP is working on his surgical caps. I thought he was finished. Are you almost done? Oh, you just finished. He had one final little seam to do, I guess. So bring your hats over and Show everybody. Okay, good. Jeremy's going to show you his surgical caps. Here we go. There you are.
Hello.
Some of you may remember Jeremy. I call him JT most of the time. He was on a episode several years ago. Lots happened since then. But we'll start. You can show them what you've been working on, and then maybe you'll let me just ask you a few questions, and you can update everybody.
So, maybe some of you know, if you saw the last video years ago. For the rest of you, I work in an OR. I help with surgery, so I make my own surgical hats to wear. You know, just kind of like that. Mm-hmm. So, Walmart had a sale for fat quarters for $1. So I bought a couple of those. So I got the anchors. I'm a big space nerd, so NASA. And then also video games. So that's Super Mario. There you go. We got the Kool-Aid Man. Just, you know.
Flashback to your childhood.
Yeah. And then South Park, just because it's South Park, I guess.
Yeah, everybody you've watched that.
Everybody knows South Park.
Watched it for years.
And then little sugar skulls.
Cute.
So that's what I got.
Now, some of you may have remembered that we made several of these caps for JT a few years back, and I had ties that I had attached to them. And recently, JT came in and he said, I found this pack of Velcro strips. They're soft on the inside, and they're even kind of fuzzy soft on this side because all the hard part is in the middle. But he said, what if we just make a buttonhole and put the Velcro through there, and then he doesn't have those strings.
Yeah, they don't like...
tickle your neck.
They tickle your neck, and you know, in surgery you can't touch anything that's not sterile. So you're, you know, the rule of thumb is as soon as you get sterile, your nose itches, your ears itch, and anything touching you, it just aggravates you 10 times more because you can't mess with it.
So this will eliminate that. And so anyway, he came in with these little fat quarters and said, "Do you think maybe we can get a hat out of each one?" And we did.
Yep.
So
yep. Also, this idea is now TM. It's trademarked.
I wish. Yeah, we could make some money off of that, couldn't we? But JT's been working on these. He has sewn before a few times. I think once you made a friend of yours a pocketbook out of blue jeans.
Made a blue jean pocketbook.
It was a girlfriend at the time, and
at the time,
and so he, you know, showed him how to use at least a sewing machine to do a straight stitch, and so I think that the biggest challenge with these was the buttonholes, and he tried one and he didn't like it, so Mama helped out with that, but he did the rest of it, so he made those, and that's great. So let's talk a little bit about what you've been doing.
You got some questions?
Yeah, I do. Okay. So what would you say is the biggest change since the last time you were on the channel till now?
I would say like 200 pounds probably. Yeah. So, I'm not sure how big I was last time, but I was kind of big.
You were larger than you are today. I just don't remember how much.
I know I got larger after that.
Yeah.
So so I maxed out about 420, 430 pounds. And now I'm at about 215. So it's like 200 pounds plus. Yeah. So that's a big change.
Big change. So
I can breathe at night.
Yeah, you don't have to use a CPAP machine anymore.
I was using a BOPAP, which is stronger
even
than
stronger
a CPAP,
than a CPAP. Yeah.
We have another visitor.
Here's Coco. She's got to come see her Bubba. It's a family affair.
So CPAP is just kind of helps you with oxygen, and a BOPAP is like forced induction oxygen into your lungs. You don't have an option. It's just and it's uncomfortable, and it's not fun, and it's hard to sleep with. So I don't even need them anymore. And then my diabetes. It's not, once you get diabetes, it's never cured. But like, I don't have to do anything for it now. It's just non-existent, I guess.
You don't have to check blood sugar.
Yeah.
You're not on any medication.
No medications, no blood sugar. Blood pressure is right in the right range without medications now. So I do know before I had a weight loss surgery, and before weight loss surgery, I was like 16 pills a day for blood pressure, heart problems, diabetes, and other things like that. And now I'm just on vitamins and the heart medication.
Blood thinner.
For the AFib.
For AFib.
Just
because it wasn't necessarily weight related. It runs in our family.
So I went from like 16 or 17 pills a day, medications a day, down to I take 2 or 3 now. And that's pretty good.
That's
that.
very good.
Yeah. I would say the next big change would be location. I don't live in Gainesville anymore. I live in Lawrenceville now. It's a nice move. The best thing about it is the house that I rent is 1.3 miles away from my job. So that's my favorite thing.
Right around the corner.
Yep.
Literally around the corner. That's awesome. So you mentioned you work in an OR. You still work in an OR. Correct. So tell them what the difference is.
So
now.
The difference is I was specialized in trauma surgery. I helped a lot of trauma surgeons do orthopedic trauma, general trauma, vascular trauma. So all that means is like gunshots, car wrecks. In Gainesville, there was, helicopter wrecks, plane wrecks, crashes, I guess you should say. And it's just, they come straight to you and they're just a mess. And you stabilize them and get them ready for their next surgeries. Because in traumas, mainly it's the first surgery stabilizes if they survive. And then the next up to dozen or multiple dozens of surgeries to get them back. But that comes with call and late stays and weekends and holidays. So my average work schedule for 80-hour work period for 2 weeks, it would be 160 hours.
You were at the hospital almost all the time.
Yeah. So now at the surgery center I work at is a nationwide company. It's mainly Southeast, but they own surgery centers. And so I do orthopedic surgeries, hand surgeries, feet surgeries. And it's just open Monday through Friday, no weekends, no holidays, no call. Very minimal overtime.
Yeah.
If any.
Yeah.
And, I go in at 6 in the morning, I come home at 3. And, that's it.
And you're still doing total hips and total knees and
just
things
no
like
trauma.
that. Just not the real bad, gnarly stuff.
Yeah.
Anymore.
So, 20 years almost of doing trauma and stuff like that can kind of wear you down. And all those hours for 20 years kind of wears you down. So
well, you don't have a personal life at all.
You don't have a personal life. And I'm just ready to, have a job that lets me have work-life balance. So
we love it because we never saw JT very much, even though he lived in town, because he was, like you said, he was at work or on call, having to be available to work a lot. And that messed with his sleep because he was afraid to go to sleep too deep because what if he got a call and missed it, But now that he's in Lawrenceville, even though it is about 40 to 45 minutes down the road.
Depends on the
traffic,
time of day.
Yeah. He has the freedom because he's not on call on the weekends. He can drive up here and hang out with us for a couple of hours or a day or two, whatever he wants to do. So he could run up and down the road pretty easily and see us, and we love it. So what we've been enjoying lately, in addition to you coming up here, and you were sewing over here and I'm stitching over here, we get to just talk, but he's been cooking for us. Oh, he's trying to get Coco to look at you so you can see her. So tell us a little bit about, that's just a hobby. You're not a professionally trained chef or anything, but you just enjoy cooking.
I think if I worked in the field, I think I'm capable of doing it.
Yeah.
I cook good enough to do that. But I think if I worked in the field, I would just not enjoy it anymore.
Yeah, it'd be not as fun because it would be work.
It would be work, and then I would stop enjoying cooking, and then I just wouldn't do it anymore.
Right. Well, I have on a previous video, I had pictures of the dinner that you made for the ladies and me that weekend, and then since then, my husband wasn't here when Jeremy cooked that big meal. And so he came up a couple of weekends ago or last weekend. And he brought some of the same dishes, ingredients, and made a couple of those dishes again so that Tommy could enjoy them. And that has been great fun. So we've done all kinds of different dishes and ideas on what we wanted to cook. And it's fun for me if Jeremy texts me during the week and says, I'm thinking I might come up to see y'all some this weekend. My very next thing is, what are we cooking?
Yep.
So I'm just assuming he's going to help me cook. He's going to cook for us. So that's been fun. That's been a nice thing. Mm-hmm. So you said your new home in Lawrenceville is only about 1.25 miles away from work.
Correct.
Do you live by yourself, or?
I have 2 roommates.
Okay.
I have 2 friends that I live with. We share the rent. I really don't see them that much. One of them has a job kind of like me. It's a career-oriented job, so he's gone during the day. And then, when I leave work, I go work out, trail run, do other things. And I don't typically get home until like 7 or 8. So, that shower, dinner, go to sleep because you got to wake up at 5:30.
The next morning.
And then the other one, he does not have what I would call a career job. He has what I would call like a
temporary job, maybe.
Minimum wage, temporary type job till he can find something better. And, so that forces him on the weekends to work. So he works when I'm not, and I'm working when he's not most of the time.
So you don't get to see each other as much.
Yeah.
Tell me about this is something you've just been doing a couple of times now. You mentioned your trail walking or trail running. So you are doing an unusual thing I hadn't heard that much about.
You're talking about the Conqueror Challenge.
Yes.
Yes. So the Conqueror Challenge is it's online virtual marathons. But they don't only do marathons. The smallest one is a marathon. It's 6.2, and I've done that one. The one I'm doing now is 40 miles, and they go up to hundreds of miles. But you don't do it at one time. You tell them how many weeks you want to complete your marathon in, and that's how long you have. So they all have themes. So they have like the Hobbit theme. So it's like the Lord of the Rings movies.
Oh.
And it's 5 different marathons. And it's if you were in the Lord of the Rings walking as far as they did supposedly in the movies,
that's what you're doing.
You would do.
Okay.
So my first one was the Athens Marathon, which is the original marathon. So it's to Athens, Greece from their starting point.
Yeah.
Or from Athens to Marathon, I think it is what it was. But along the way, as you post your distances, they send you little postcards of like where you would be in real time and what you would see if you were standing there. And then I don't have my medal; it's at my house. But the medals are really cool. That's probably what you paid the money for. It's $30 a race. But then they send you these really cool medals, like finisher medals.
They look just like a real marathon medal.
A lot of them have like little hidden compartments or hinges, and have little special tokens. It's kind of a neat thing.
But it's a great way to keep yourself motivated.
Yeah.
Set a goal and go and walk, and so that's fun. So I got a text from Jeremy last week, and he sent me a map of where all he had been walking that day, so I could see his whole trail, and it mapped out how many miles he'd done and his time and everything. So that was neat. I've never done anything like that, so I thought that was kind of interesting. You did something one weekend you were here too, with Legos. You built a replica of The Office on the TV show.
The TV show, The Office. Yeah. So I like The Office. It's one of my favorite shows ever. And I just like Legos.
Yeah.
Again, the nerd thing coming out of me. So.
We don't have it up here, so what I'll do is I'll get a picture of it, and I'll insert it here so you can see what it looks like. Here's Jeremy's Lego rendition of The Office. And it's one of these 360 things. I think that's amazing. And he did that in a weekend. Thanks, Jeremy, for sharing that with us.
I think my favorite thing about that is they shows you how to build the office, but they didn't teach you or tell you where to put the people and all the little extra accessories. So that was up to you. So I chose that each accessory and each person would be put somewhere doing something that was one of my favorite moments from the
In
show.
an episode.
In an episode.
Oh, so if you, as you look at it, then you're reminded of those different episodes by the way you decorated it or placed it. How neat. So if you're an Office fanatic and you look at the picture, you may recognize some of those episodes. You'll see. But so what else do you like to do? You like to cook. You like to do Legos. You like to do. You don't mind doing sewing for things that you're working on.
Yeah, I mean,
but
it's
you
not
do
my favorite.
other
But
kind
I
of
do it
art.
'cause it's easier than buying them. It's a lot cheaper. The hats were $1 from Walmart.
Yeah.
Versus, I think you can buy them on Etsy for $24.
Yeah.
So
Same amount of material, same function.
And they come with the strings.
And they have the strings, which we've taken care of.
So I would say other things I do, art. I think if you watched the last one, you saw some of my art. Mm-hmm. I still do that. Now I'm writing a book right now. It's a poetry book and a short story, like short stories and poetry combined. Mm-hmm. So I'm doing that right now.
Can't wait to read that.
So.
I've read a couple of stories Jeremy's written before, and they're remarkable. I really enjoy them. I think you're a good writer. And I have shown them before my shoe. You do sculpture kind of stuff with miniatures,
like
and I have that over here on my work desk. So I think that's a good variety of things that you're getting to enjoy again now that you have more time. Which is
yeah. I think, as far as art went, I did a lot of art at a younger age, and then once my career hit, and I was always at the hospital, I think I didn't draw a single picture for
a long time.
Years.
Yeah, I know. One Christmas, you did a special project for me, and you worked on it for a long time because you just didn't have much time.
Yeah.
And you had it hidden down in your apartment so that I couldn't see it because you had to keep it out to work on it. But I got it for Christmas. It was great. That was a good thing. Mm-hmm. Well, and yesterday when we had the stitching meetup, I had told Jeremy, I said, oh my goodness, if you're coming up this weekend, Dad's going to take a very long run Saturday morning, and I'm going to be at the stitching meetup all day. JT said, that's okay. I'll come take Coco for a walk. Tell him what you guys did yesterday.
Oh, it was just a normal walk.
No, it wasn't a normal walk for her.
We went to the lake.
Yeah.
Ran around the woods. Played, what is it? Not hide and seek, but I threw treats at her when she wasn't looking.
She had to find them.
And she would have to find them. And then at that point, it was the end of the walk. And then once I started throwing the treats at her and she figured it out, she stopped walking. That was it.
That was it. She was on a search for all the treats. But that wasn't good enough. So last night, we go out to eat. And she, I've told you before, she's a sock thief. So while we were out at the restaurant, JT's book bag and, was in a duffel or something.
It's in my travel bag.
Travel bag. He had his socks and his clothes in there, So when we got home, in the living room, there was paper wrappers from his jerky, his beef jerky, that had been in the bottom of his bag under his clothes. Mm-hmm. So we picked up that paper, that wrapper of one pack of jerky. And these are small little single serving sizes. And Jeremy went on into his room because I think he was a little suspicious then to see what he was going to find. Tell him what you found when you got in there.
Another pack of beef jerky, one of my favorite flavor. She ate my second favorite flavor and my favorite flavor.
All in one sitting, yeah.
I think I can tell by how it was laid out that she ate the favorite flavor first. So at least we agree.
You're equal on that.
Agree.
Yeah.
But my socks were all over my room too.
Yeah, I think she started with the socks and the underwear, and then she found
the beef jerky. But they were sealed packages, so she had to open them.
Yeah.
So she opened them.
She had to open them, and she ate all of the beef jerky in both of them. Mm-hmm. So we watched her really close. I mean, it was wasn't going to hurt her.
It was big
But
as
it was,
this cow.
it's just that JT didn't have his snacks. His sister ate them. She's done that before. What did she eat last time that you had in your room?
Oh, my protein cookies.
Yeah, your protein. For Christmas, we gave JT 2 big protein cookies that he could have like for breakfast or something on the way to work early in the morning. And she ate them both. She did the same thing. She got up in his room on the bed and ate them. She's a glutton. When she sees an opportunity to eat something she wants but doesn't usually get, she eats it all at one time. It's funny. So, and she didn't even act like she was guilty. You know, when you sometimes catch a puppy dog after they've done something.
Yeah, she's.
Oh no.
She has no guilt.
She wasn't guilty at all. It was like, oh yeah, I did it. What you gonna do about it?
And then immediately went straight to her puzzle and wanted her own food.
Yeah, tapped her puzzle. She was hungry. I was scared to feed her anymore, but we gave her half of what we normally do, and to see what she would do. She's funny girl. But so JT's roommates, I'm gonna tell this story on you. JT's roommates asked him when he got ready to come up here this weekend, said, "Are you gonna go visit your parents again?" He said, "I'm gonna go see my dog."
My coworkers.
Oh, your coworkers. Okay.
Yeah.
And they said, "You're going to see your dog, but doesn't your dog live with your parents?" And he said, "Yeah, but tell them what you said."
I said, yes, but my parents don't run out of the front door and jump on me and greet me like the same way as the dog does.
So now Tommy and I have a challenge. We got to figure out how we're going to do that.
We'll see.
We'll see. Well, I'll tell you what. I am so delighted that you're getting to come up and spend time with us.
Me too.
And I'm tickled to death at your hats. They all look really neat.
Yeah.
And I didn't mention this to everybody, but he got a pack of these Velcro straps, and they're all different colors. So each hat has a different color. And if he wants to, you know, as he's taking them off and swapping out hats, he can put those different colors with different ones.
Yep.
He can be stylish. Anyway.
Customizable, you know.
Yeah, customizable.
How I feel that day.
Yeah.
What colors I want to wear, you know.
Yeah, what color are you feeling today? Oh, well, I wanted you guys to get to just see how he's doing, because I talk about him a lot, you know, and I've been talking about his weight loss journey, and so many of you have been so kind and have said things like you're praying for him and you're really proud of him. And there was one person who actually decided to have weight loss surgery because of your inspiring them, because you had done so well, and you know, we were talking about how your life was changing for the better, and they had needed to do it and had put it off.
Oh, good.
And
I'm glad they did.
Yeah, they had it.
How long ago was that?
That was, well, I don't know if they've had the surgery or not, but it was about a month ago that they told me that they were scheduling it. So they're probably going through all that preliminary, get it started kind of stuff.
Okay, so I would say Isopure from GNC
It's the lifesaver.
is a lifesaver. It's the highest protein drink that you can have, and they have great flavors.
That's Isopure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then the other one I have, they're from that special bariatric weight loss. I'll give it to you later.
Not Nectal or?
They're called Nectars.
Nectars, yeah.
Because you're going to be on a liquid diet for, a month before surgery and 2 months after.
Yeah.
So it's rough.
That part probably was the hardest
That's the hardest part. The surgery was nothing.
Yeah. And if you've been with us for very long, you know that there was a mix-up in the doctor's office, and JT had to postpone his surgery.
So I did it twice.
So he had to go through that liquid diet thing twice. That was a mess. But you made it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, you did a great job with that. And the other funny thing, I don't think, since nobody knows who we're talking about, I don't think it'd be bad to share. Jeremy was at work the other day, and one of his coworkers said something about how glad she was that within a little bit of
another
time,
week or so, she could have
red meat
again.
And JT recognized that, and he said, "Oh, you've had surgery." None of them knew he had had surgery. None of these people where he's working now knew him before surgery. And so you told her then that you'd had it.
Everybody knows now, and they've seen pictures I've shown them.
Yes.
And they don't believe that was me.
Yeah.
Like, that doesn't even look like you.
And I think what I'll do, just because some of you, this may be your first time watching, and some of you probably have, it's been a long time since you've seen these pictures. So if you don't mind, I'll put in I'll put in a picture of JT when he got his surgery, right when he had surgery, and then now you've seen him. How he looks today. So, and you feel so much better.
Oh,
I just,
100%.
100%.
I was on the decline of checking out.
Yeah.
And now I'm just,
Yeah,
so
now
much
you're
energy,
walking.
so much like just happiness, mentally.
Yeah.
Happiness too.
Yeah.
So.
I mean, your physician was so blunt with you when he talked with you.
Yeah, he basically said that you have about 12 months.
Yeah.
So.
He was in serious health decline.
I went through like 3 hospitalizations within a 6-month period.
Yeah, it was scary. It was really scary. My husband and I felt like we were watching him die, and we didn't know what to do about it. And so when he decided to have the surgery, as radical as that may seem to people, we were thrilled.
Yeah.
Absolutely thrilled for him. And so happy for you now,
Oh, yeah.
because you're doing so good. And Tommy and JT are making plans in the future to do some hikes together, and so I think that'll be fun. Y'all have done a couple of little short things since your surgery, but because you've done rappelling and you've done some hiking and things I never thought you would ever do.
I'm not a big fan of the rappel. I mean, it didn't scare me or anything like that. It's just, I don't see the hype. It's like people like, it's so awesome to just walk down a mountain. I'm like,
You're like, no, I don't know. Maybe I would fall.
Maybe not for me. I don't know. I did it. It was fine. It's just, I wasn't like, yeah.
Yeah. So, is there something on your bucket list that you want to do now that you feel so much better and you've got so much more energy? And is there some traveling you want to do? Or
Well, I'm still trying to get to Japan.
JT wants to go to Japan really bad.
I had a trip planned. It was 27 days.
Mm-hmm.
Me
Had the time
and Dad
off.
were going. Had the time off. Had it already paid for, and then I got hospitalized for the AFib, and I was on the verge of having a heart attack.
Yes.
And it was just by dumb luck they caught it. I cut my foot. We went to a doc in the box, and they said, "You're about to have a heart attack."
Yeah, that was really strange too. We were sitting there in the little med stop, and the lady asked, what can I do for you today? And he said, well, I've got this cut on my foot. I just need somebody to help me either, glue it back together or staple it together, whatever I need to do. And so, you know how they do. They take your vital signs if you walk in the door. And this poor girl took his vital signs, and then she said, let me check your other arm. Well, we're both worked in the healthcare field. We both knew, there's something wrong. And there was. And we were at a med stop a block away from the hospital, and they would not let me drive him to the hospital.
Yeah, $800.
Ambulance. They called an ambulance from a block away, but they were scared to death. He was just going in and out of AFib. They couldn't stabilize him. And when they came to get you, you were in the ambulance in the parking lot for quite a while, about 20 minutes or so before they would even go up the hill.
Yeah, they were worried to even go that one block because they were at a place where they had medical equipment.
Right.
And then they had to go one block to get to another place with medical equipment, and then I just wasn't stable enough to go one block. So
And
that was crazy.
That was scary. So, and that was the year I was scheduled to go to New Jersey, and it was going to be that weekend.
Yeah.
And I wasn't leaving him in the hospital like that. We didn't even know what was going to happen. And so
that was a week and a couple days, I think.
Yeah. It was
and,
rough.
Cardiac observation.
Fabulous care, fabulous nurse. And now this year, Jeremy's doing great. His heart is fine, and I'm getting to go to New Jersey again. So I'm going to make up for that trip. Oh, that was good. Well, thanks so much for chatting with me on my video. I appreciate it. I hope you guys have enjoyed getting to see Jeremy again, and it's been special for me to get to have you as a guest.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks, everybody. We'll talk soon. Happy stitching. Hi, everyone. I'm back once more on June 11th to give you a final report for the day. I hope that you enjoyed my visit with my son JT. He was finishing up his last scrub cap, and I thought he had finished, and I started recording, and he had one more seam to do or something. It cracked me up when he started the sewing machine. He did it on purpose. He was being funny. Anyway, it was fun. We had a good time. I hope you've enjoyed seeing him. It's been a long, long time. So today, after we finished our recording, he had a couple errands to run. He had to get him some new shoes to wear in the OR because his old shoes that he gets a particular style of shoe that I think fishermen wear a lot on boats because he stands in an OR that can get very wet and mucky, you know. And so he likes the grip of those shoes, and he likes the fact that they are, you know, water repellent and that sort of thing. And his were old, and they had started cracking on him. And so he ran to the store today at Academy Sports to see if he could find them, and luckily they were right inside the door. He found them right off the bat. But while he was running his errands, I decided I would pick up something to stitch on today before he got home and we started cooking dinner. And by the way, we had a lovely, lovely stir fry for dinner. Pot stickers, some crab cakes, and a chicken and vegetable stir fry. And Jeremy made a particular type of noodle that he likes, and he also made some sticky rice for us. So I'll put some pictures in here just because since we're talking about what he enjoys doing today, I'll show you the dinner that he came up with. And I'll put those pictures in here. So we had a great dinner. And then after dinner, we played cards, and my husband and my son and I just had a great time teasing with each other. Usually my son teases about me winning every time we play, but tonight my husband won, hands down, and it tickled me, you know, that's what happened. But after all of that, I came back up here. Originally, I thought I would just come up here and cut all the lights off and shut it all up and down and go to bed because it was about 10:30. But I saw my project sitting here, and I knew the goal that I had was probably within a reach of about an hour. And so I couldn't help myself. I sat down and I stitched some more, so I want to share that with you. One of my Whip Go calls for this month, number 16 on my holiday board, was small gift. And I've been working on this little piece. I think it's lovely and I'm enjoying it. And I'm doing mine on a dark navy blue Aida that I had in my stash, and I'll show you where I got to today. I did work on her dress. I had gone through here and done the dark green outline of the flowers and the edge of the dress and the little surrounds that are supposed to be around the buttons. And tonight I came in and I brought down the snowflakes all the way down to this section of her dress. There was also there were white stitches in one of the flowers, and since I was right here with my white thread, I just went ahead and did those stitches as well and got those done. And then I came back up and pulled this next color of green, and it'll be on this side of this line as well. But I was just doing fill in, and that was great because I just need to fill this in now down around this flower, and then come over here, do the side and the bottom, and I'll have the green background color of her dress completed. And then I can do her flowers and her little fur trim, back stitch the inside of her dress, and she will be done. And then all I have to work on are the two pretty little deer next to her and the Christmas tree. It's still a lot of stitching. A lot of stitching, as you can see. So I'm coming down here with this green, and then these are the two deer I would do next, and then this tree. And then I'm thinking back here, all these snowflakes, I may very well put little beads in there. We'll see. Those are a lot of ninja stitches. Those little tiny, you know, don't want to carry your thread kind of thing. Although this is dark navy blue, and if I put a dark board behind it, like a black board, it probably would be fine to let the white stitches show. I didn't mind doing that here. That's why I did the white first, because as I'm filling in, I'll just stitch right over the white where I was linking it, and it'll be, you know, it'll be fine. But I'm loving this. So how did I do on my goal? Well, I had stitched on June 5th on Small Gift, and I had stitched 318 stitches, roughly, not quite 3 hours. And so it was enough for a prompt. I met the prompt, I posted it, and I moved on to hit some other prompts, knowing that I would pick it up again, maybe for another prompt, and hit another 300 stitches, and that would definitely give me 5 hours. So today, I decided, since I have already stitched this for my current acrostics, and it didn't fit in my Flag Week challenge, rather than keep waiting, since I only needed 2 more hours on it, I decided to do it today. And so that's what I did. I did 340 stitches today, and if you add those 2 days together in June, since this is a June Whip Go call, it's a total of 658 stitches over the 2 days, and that is well over a 5 hour. That was my prompt on my Whip Go board. My goal was 5 hours. So I know I've gotten that much in on her. I think she is adorable. And I was trying to get her close enough where you could see that pretty little face. But it's late at night and my light is washing her out. But anyway, there you go. So I've also decided, I've been working on her with a Q-snap. I think I'm going to look and see if I have a roller frame to put her on, because I ironed her tonight. I noticed this Ada is very stiff, and my Q-snap is making lines. Doesn't usually do that on my fabrics, but this is so stiff it is. And so I cranked up the iron tonight and I ironed it, and they did come out pretty much. But there is a fold that is looking like it doesn't want to disappear. You can see it right there. And so I've decided I don't want to fold this up and put it in my project bag anymore. So tomorrow when I get up, I'll probably put this on a roller frame. I'm sure I have one, you know, big enough for this. And I'll start working on her on a roller frame so that I don't permanently crease my fabric on her. So that's my stitching for the day. Our son decided he would spend one more night here tonight, get up early in the morning and head down to work, because he said the traffic from here is very easy to navigate. Most of the traffic is coming up toward Gainesville, not away from it. So he got home quite easily the last time that he tried that, and so he's going to do it again. And that is why we were able to play cards and have a nice little evening together, because he got to stay here a little bit longer than we originally had thought. So I was really glad. He got all of his caps made, and then, you know, was able to play cards with us tonight, cook with us. It was a great weekend, y'all. I just had such a good time. I actually like hanging out with my son. He is a fabulous person, I think, and quite interesting to talk to. I'm fascinated with his job. He tells me wonderful, you know, stories, things that happen, and I always love to hear them. So I've had a great weekend, just a great weekend. I hope you have. Next week is a pretty light week. I'm I'm very excited about it. I have all day Monday to stitch, but I'm going to have to really do some cleaning in the craft room. I've had 2 crafters in here all weekend, and so I've got a sewing area to clean up, a cutting area to clean up, and my son had gifted me a large amount, 10 frames from the resale shop that I might use to frame my cross stitch with, and they're piled over against one wall. He gave me that for Mother's Day, and I haven't found a permanent home for them yet. And I need to do all that because if it works out, one of the ladies from my church, who I just found out recently is a cross stitcher, has agreed to come and stitch with me on Friday, and she's never been here before. So I want my craft room to look warm and inviting and neat and organized, so she doesn't look at it and think, run for the hills, you know, because it would scare her. But so I want to get that done tomorrow if I can. And then, of course, Tuesday I have Bible study at my church. Wednesday we have choir practice. But other than that, I don't have meetings and I don't have a bunch of conference calls. And so I get to hopefully get to stitch and talk with my friend Glow on Thursday. And I also think this coming week I get to stitch with a couple more of my friends on Zoom. And so I'm looking forward to that. But I say that just to bring about, that should give me plenty of time for my stitching goals, and I'm excited about that. My last week, I had several days that were extremely busy away from home, and I didn't get to stitch nearly what I had hoped to. So I didn't quite make as much progress as I would have liked, but it's still only the 11th of June right now, so I've got time. I've got time to finish all my acrostics. I've got time, you know, to finish my final. I have one whip go call left for the month of June. It is a new start, and it is in my Sew Together series, which are birds, and I was hoping to be able to stitch it for summer school and finish the whole thing by the end of the month. Not sure I'll be able to do that. I can start it, but I don't know that I could finish it. If I do, I'll definitely submit it, but otherwise, I'll just do it because it's my whip go goal. But that has been my progress today, and I think it's been quite productive. I think it's been a great day. So I'll let you go. I'm going to head to bed. It's working its way past 11:30, and I need to get on to bed. But I will start again tomorrow and hopefully have something to share with you that I have stitched. Happy stitching, everybody.